Today we are making some homemade sourdough Pop-Tarts. I am so excited to show you guys this recipe. As always, it'll be linked down below in the description box, or if you want to follow along right here, I will tell you how I am starting. We have 2 cups of all-purpose flour in a bowl, and then we're going to go ahead and add a pinch of salt and then 1/4 cup of regular granulated sugar. Once all of our dry ingredients are added into the bowl, we are going to get 2 sticks of cold butter, cut it up, and then put it in our dry ingredients before cutting the butter into the flour and sugar mixture. 2 sticks of butter is a lot of butter, but it will give our pastry a nice flaky consistency and will give us a nice golden brown color that we're looking for. Once that is all combined together in a bowl, it should be crumbly, but it should also stick together when you put it in your fist and squeeze tight. Once that is the correct consistency, we're going to add 1 whole cup of sourdough starter. My sourdough starter has not had a lot of love lately. It has been so hot here, I have not even wanted to attempt making any bread because I just know that the rise is going to be a little bit different than what I'm used to. So I'm sticking to using my starter and inclusions in stuff like these sourdough Pop-Tarts. So once I have all that combined, it'll be pretty sticky. I end up using a bowl scraper here to kind of collect everything off of the side of the bowl, but then I do just split the dough ball that I have into 2 separate balls, and then I roll it up and put it in some plastic wrap, and then I'm going to stick it in the fridge for about an hour or more to get it to chill. You can let it chill for even longer, up to 3 days if you really want to have that sourdough ferment, but it doesn't matter to me, so I'm just going to have it chilled in the fridge for an hour while I work on my filling. These particular Pop-Tarts are going to be blueberry Pop-Tarts, blueberry lemon Pop-Tarts actually. I have these blueberries that we picked last summer that I wanted to use up because we're going to go pick some more blueberries soon, and it is blueberry season, so I'm using those. I'm adding maybe 1/2 cup of sugar to this. I'm really just eyeballing it as much as I feel would make the filling taste good, and then I'm adding some lemon zest and some lemon juice as well, and then I'm going to let that boil down and get nice and thick. And once that is a nice thick consistency, I am going to leave it for a little bit while my dough chills and this can get nice and cool. I don't want to add it too super hot to my dough because then it's going to make the dough a really weird consistency. You have that cold dough, you're not really going to want a super hot filling. So I will wait for both of those to cool down before I add my filling to my dough mixture. Once everything has taken its time to chill, I'm going to just get some flour and put it down on my surface. The biggest tip I can give you when rolling out fresh pastry like this is to flour everything and flour it generously. Like I mentioned before, this dough is pretty sticky, but the more flour you use, the better it is to handle, and the more you move it around on the board, the less it will stick, which is really, really important. I roll this dough out to about the size of my cutting board that I'm rolling it on, but if you can see, I pick it up, I move it around, I make sure the flour is underneath it. I don't let it sit in a spot for too long because then it will stick. But then I spread my delicious blueberry mixture all over this, and then I will get my second piece of dough, my second ball of dough, also roll that out, and then I will roll all of that on top of the original piece of dough. Once I have all that set, I'm going to just cut this into 8 squares. You can cut it however you want. You can make bigger or smaller Pop-Tarts, but I like the traditional bigger ones. 8 separate squares. I'm going to then poke the dough with a fork so I can get some air out of there when I cook them. And then I'm going to hit it with a wash of just half and half. You can do egg wash, but I like to just hit it with a little bit of either cream or half and half. And then I'm also going to add some brown coconut sugar on top before I crimp the edges. And I let this bake in the oven for probably 20-ish, 25 minutes. I just kept an eye on it. I had it at a pretty low temperature. I baked it at 325 degrees, but you can bake it at 350 degrees and cut down your baking time. And then I'm going to just make a really simple frosting for the top. I'm going to just use some powdered sugar, some more half and half, and then the tiniest little splash of vanilla, and then add that on top of my cooled Pop-Tarts. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. I make new videos every single week on all things sourdough, homemaking, and country living, and I will see you in my next video.